I'd like to introduce our second candidate for House of Representatives District 1, Kendra Fershee.
Thank you. It's actually Fershee, but it looks like Fershee. It's okay. I just say that because you can vote for it either way. So I'm really glad to be here tonight to talk to you all. I want to tell you a little bit about myself first. I am a law professor at WVU College of Law, where I'm also the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. My husband, who's here, Josh, is also a law professor. He teaches energy and business law at the College of Law, and he's in the Energy Center at the College of Law. We are not West Virginians by birth, but we're West Virginians by choice. We decided to come here 6 years ago to raise our kids in a place that we fell in love with when we came to visit for the first time to interview at the College of Law. And we heard a lot of not nice things about West Virginia before we came here, and instantly realized how wrong those things are when we landed. And we knew that this is where we wanted to be and where we wanted to raise our children. So we, we're at like I said, we're in Morgantown at WVU, and glad to be. Well, and I know I'm supposed to, as Simon said, you're supposed to ask for something while you're up here. I'm going to do this first because I forget to do it at the end. If you're interested in what I have to say and you want to know more about my campaign, you can get on your smartphone and text Team Kendra, one word, Team Kendra, to 313131, and you'll get plugged right in. It's modern day campaigning. But let me tell you a little bit about, now you know a little bit about me. The other thing I should tell you is I have two kids in public schools here in West Virginia. I have a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old. And I'm running for this office because, not only because I'm a mom and I know that we got to do the right things for our kids, but because I think we need more people running for office who understand what it's like to be a working parent, to be someone who's a part of the community, raising kids, and running from event to event, supporting the teachers, seeing how great our schools are, and being a real champion for West Virginia. So the other thing I need you to know are, you need to know about my values. I talk a lot about my values because that's how we are going to make change. We need to connect on our values, and the most important value I want to tell you about that I believe in is freedom. There's not one person in this room and not one person in this country who would say that they don't believe in freedom. But the problem is we think of freedom as an individual right at the exclusion of all other rights. But freedom is a collective value. It's what the United States was founded on. We can't live free if we don't work together. We can't live free if we don't have health care. We can't live free if we don't have a good job or infrastructure to get us to that job. And we certainly can't live free if our kids or grandkids can't go to a good school. We are not living free if we abandon each other. If we say, well, I've got my freedom, you leave me alone. That's not what this country was founded on. So we need to be talking about those values. Freedom is not owned by Republicans. Democrats understand freedom better than anybody because we understand it's both individual and collective. The other thing I think we need to talk about more is bravery. If we are going to make real change in West Virginia, we need to be brave, and we need to try new things. And one of those things, as Morgan and Jim were talking about, is legalized cannabis, and particularly medical cannabis. We have a new law here in West Virginia, and the federal government is in our way. The federal government is making it harder to implement that law. And if we can get the federal government to take cannabis off of Schedule I, then the states that have legalized it can implement their laws without worry that there's going to be interference from the federal government. And the last thing I want to talk about in terms of values is patriotism. And I'm going to tell you a little story. This is why I brought my phone up here. I did a thing. I did a bad thing. I got to confess. So what you do when you run for office now, the first thing you do is you get a website. That's how you know you're really a candidate. You've got, the world knows that you're doing something because you get a website. So I put things on my website, and sometimes I get trolls, which is how I know I arrived. I had a troll on my page twice within a couple of hours call me a traitor because I'm a Democrat. This is where we are, where people think it's a legitimate criticism to call you a traitor because of your political party. And that really rubbed me the wrong way. So this is what I said. I responded, you're not supposed to do that, but I did. So let me just tell you what I said. To the man who called me a traitor and questioned my patriotism because I'm a Democrat, when I decided to run for Congress, I expected to get some negative comments. For the most part, if they're mean or lack substance, I just ignore them. But if you question my patriotism, if you call me a traitor because of my political party, that's when I say enough is enough. If you think people don't deserve health care because of their age or where they work, don't vote for me. And if you think we shouldn't fight the deadly opioid addiction crisis and kick West Virginians to the curb, please do not vote for me. And if you think poor kids don't deserve good education, do not vote for me. But don't you dare question my patriotism. My love for this country is what's motivating me to run. It's what's motivating me to stand up and do what's right. And to stand up to the bullies who don't understand that dissent and disagreement are the pillars of our democracy. I am a Democrat, I am a patriot, and I'm running for Congress. Thank you.